So, my core marketing principle
Right.
is that human is the only move left. And I've been doing this for a long time. I've seen a whole lot of stuff change on the internet. We go through what I call an internet apocalypse about every 5 years, and everyone's like, wrap it up. There's no more money on the internet.
All today's show is so good.
But number one, I've never seen an intro like that.
It is my hope and desire that not only will episode 30 still be fun, but episode 300 will be even more fun. You are made for something great, so go and be awesome.
Ten seconds remaining.
Hello, and welcome to the show. My name is Renee Hastings, and I'm your host of Renee Speaks. Y'all, today's guest is Rachel Allen. She is a marketer known for blending data-driven strategy with human-centered storytelling. For 16 years, she's run her own marketing business, working across for-profit and nonprofit sectors with clients in over 21 countries. Her work has powered high ROI launches, major audience growth, industry awards, and partnerships with leading venture capital firms. Y'all, put your hands together for Rachel Allen.
Oh, what a lovely intro. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Rachel, we're so excited to have you here today.
Oh, I am so excited to be chatting with you. This is the best way to end my day.
Awesome. So, Rachel, I cannot wait to get to know you better because I know that for so many founders, marketing and trying to find the right tone, the right voice, the right this and the that and all the things so that they can reach the right audience and increase their bottom line. That's a struggle so many have. So with you on our show today, we are so grateful that you're sharing your gray matter with us so that we can benefit our audience and everyone can learn and understand and kind of get to the bottom of what it could look like if they applied certain different practices or tips or tricks or tools. So, but as we get started though, I would love to learn more about how you got started on this marketing journey. You've been in business for 16 years, but 16 years ago, what happened? What led up to that?
So, if you had asked me all those years ago whether I was going to found a business, I would have looked at you like you were crazy because I could have never done that. I'm a writer. I don't do those things. I had gone to school for journalism and I graduated in the '08 recession. And of course, no one was hiring anyone, especially fresh out of college. So in my 22-year-old brain, I thought, what's the furthest I can get away from Tennessee? And it turns out the answer is Hong Kong. So I bought a plane ticket and I moved to Hong Kong. But being 22, I didn't get a work visa before I left because I didn't even think about that because, that's like grown-up stuff. And I landed there with like $200 in my bank account and I had to make rent. So I'm Googling like how to make money online, which is only slightly less silly than it is now. But, I was trying to figure it out. And I ended up finding this job called copywriting. And I was like, this has to be a scam. There's no way. But I took the gig and turns out it wasn't a scam and they actually paid me whole $3 for the job. And I was hooked. So I built a business out of it.
Wow. So your marketing business started as a copywriting business.
Yes.
Got you. Because, and that really, I think, isn't a perfect use of your journalism degree, with you already having that inborn, God-given gift of writing and being creative in your writing. to be able to just parlay that into a whole copywriting business. I think is brilliant. And at 22 years old to go to Hong Kong were you by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Talk about fearlessness.
I think it was a whole lot of being young and also just kind of having this attitude of, what's the worst that can happen? Maybe I get there and I hate it and I'll come back and that's okay.
Right. But why Hong Kong? Of all the places in the world, why Hong Kong?
Well, I mean, it's very far away from Tennessee. And
Yes, yes,
I
that it
had
is.
my undergrad was a double major in journalism and Asian studies. And so I was so interested in the culture and I loved everything about it.
I got you. Awesome. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Because I was like, okay, there has to be more to the story.
Just the dirt
I'm
on
using my journalism, my that I identify with my degree
yeah, yeah,
to dig a little deeper.
yeah.
So, well, I'm so happy for you. So when you were in Hong Kong and you were looking for a job and you were Googling, what was that experience like? So, because being in Hong Kong, pretty much the only job you could have gotten was a remote job, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because you didn't speak the language,
Yeah, no,
right?
I'm like a third grader. I can order in a restaurant and find out where the bathroom is, but I definitely can't
Mhm.
speak it.
Wow. So the internet definitely does impact so many things, and that's a whole nother story for a different day. But even back then, being resourceful as a 22-year-old, I just think that's so impressive. Just so
Oh,
impressive.
thank you. What I always tell people is that it looks really awesome in retrospect and mostly terrifying during the whole process.
Yeah, yeah, because hindsight is 2020, and when you're going through it, it's like, oh my gosh. When I only moved from Wisconsin to Georgia,
Oh, still.
and
It's a long way.
and I considered it. I said, I'm Indiana Jones. I'm not sure if you even know who Indiana Jones
Yeah,
is, but
yeah.
he had a whole series of movies. And my life moving from Wisconsin to Georgia was an Indiana Jones adventure.
Oh gosh. Like with big rolling rock and the snakes and everything?
Yeah, yeah, and that was my mindset. It had to
Yeah.
be my mindset because I was by myself. I drove by myself
Mm.
in a car. Oh, of course you drive in a car, but I drove from Wisconsin to Georgia by myself, and I'd never driven that far before by myself. I didn't know what was going to be along the way, what roads where the roads were going to take me.
Yeah.
I had a map, like one of those folding Rand McNally maps,
Oh,
and the
wow.
book.
Yeah.
And all
Yeah.
And so I was literally just, for whatever happened. It was all part of the adventure.
Yeah. Oh, I love that
Yeah.
story and I love that attitude because I mean, what a perfect metaphor for entrepreneurship, right? You have to
Right?
kind of go into it being like, maybe there's going to be snakes, but I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Right? Exactly. And if there are, we'll just kind of, whack them in the
Yeah,
head, or we'll kind of, hop out of the way. Whatever we got to do, we got to do.
exactly.
So yeah, that was my attitude, and I'm sure probably yours as well, when you're so far away in Hong Kong trying to figure out life as a young person and make rent and all the things. It's
Yeah.
having thoughts that most traditional folks some days here in the US don't have to have until much later. So but Rachel, as we talk more about your life since then. So you started the
Mhm.
business 16 years ago. You're working in for-profit and you're working in nonprofit. How has working in each of those different sectors shaped your storytelling?
Ooh, that's a wonderful question. I think what it really brought forward to me is that no matter what the sector is, you're still speaking to a person. And so the storytelling is ultimately the same. You have slightly different focuses, if you're nonprofit versus for profit, but really ultimately as people we're motivated by the same things, we care about the same thing. And so you can use the same strategies to reach out to people because ultimately it's all just humans.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, no matter if you're for profit, you're speaking to a human. If you're
Yeah.
nonprofit, you're speaking to a human. We're
Yeah,
all just
people
human.
tend I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, it's okay.
I was just going to say, yeah, we're all, people in for profit especially tend to think like, oh, it's your customer base or your audience. And nonprofit, you get into like, oh, it's your donor base. And I'm like, no, that's a person. Somebody's opening that email and you have to convince that person that that's worth the time.
That's right. That's right. 100%. So, what strategies then drove the high ROI launches and engagement that you were a part of?
So basic content strategy always comes down to three things, really, which is what do I want? What am I going to do to make that happen? And how am I going to know if it worked? Which sounds so simple, but if you can actually really dig into them, that's how you can create an incredibly robust marketing strategy. As far as specifics for some of my highest ROI launches, one of the ones I'm most proud of and excited about is I have a client who runs a salon in the UK. It's a carbon neutral salon. She's brilliant at what she does. And we sold her $20,000 worth of bookings off of 3 emails. And
Oh,
it was just wonderful. Yeah, we had no idea it was gonna turn out that well, but the strategy there was really, like, about 10 years of nurturing and ongoing support and ongoing excellence, and then we just hit that right exact moment that we could send those emails, and, I mean, it booked her out for 6 months.
wow. That is fantastic, and that deserves applause. Holy
Thanks.
camolie. That is fantastic. $20,000 in new business booked out for 6 months?
Mm,
That's wonderful. So you definitely hit on something there. So you
yeah.
struck a nerve. And yeah, that's wonderful. And definitely, if you're able to repeat that or share what that could look like for others,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, that's brilliant that's what you do. You help people figure out that messaging so that they can be
Mhm.
found and draw people to them, want to book with them.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome. I love it. And so when you're thinking about the launches, how do you balance the data with the human-centered marketing?
Mm. So most people focus on data exclusively, and I understand why, because you have to understand what's going on with your actual numbers. You can't just run a marketing campaign on vibes, no matter what people tell you. So you do have to get really granular about the quantitative metrics that truly matter. So that's going to vary from launch to launch, right? Maybe email open rates super matter for this one, whereas TikTok engagement really matters for another one. But regardless of what quantitative metrics you're looking at, you really do need to look at the qualitative ones as well. And so those are things like, how do we feel about what we're putting out? Like, are we embarrassed? Do we feel good about it? Do we feel thrilled by it? Or are we kind of just filling in blanks? And what
Mhm,
kind of response are we getting from people? Like, what human response, not just engagement, but like, what are they saying? Do we like them? Do they like us? It's all about a
mhm,
relationship, and so you have to bring both sides in, otherwise you're just gonna miss something.
mhm. Wow. Yeah, that's really good. So yeah, the numbers matter, but so do the people,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And
'Cause, I
and
mean,
a lot of
ultimately, numbers aren't gonna buy from you.
exactly, right? I was just gonna say that the numbers don't purchase.
Yeah,
It's the people who
exactly.
purchase. So, you have business in 21 countries. How did
Mhm.
that happen? And why do you think you've been so successful at it?
So, logistically, the way it happened was that once I moved to Hong Kong, I spent a couple years there, and then I ended up actually living abroad for the next 10 years, and I
Mm,
moved about every 6 months. So I've lived just in a whole bunch of countries and just being places and, find business. But I also grew a large business network in London. I was living there for about 5 years on and off and ended up meeting a bunch of people, and of course, it's such an international city, people travel there all the time. It was an easy hub to grow business
mhm,
in much different countries.
mm,
And as far as why I've been successful with it, I think it's just I'm a really good listener. I like to listen to people. I like to hear their stories, and I find differences in culture fascinating as opposed to something to overcome.
mm. Yeah, I agree with that. The world is so diverse. Everyone's frame of reference and perspective is so valuable. And
Yes.
and there's absolutely no way I could think about something in a way that maybe you could think about something because we have different frames of reference. And all of it adds such value to a business or a customer base or to a team. And it's so wonderful, and I love everything about a borderless world.
Oh, I love that too. And I think that's one of the things that I really love the most about entrepreneurship is that some of the most interesting things I've ever done is just taking something that's big in one country and moving it somewhere else that it hasn't happened yet. And everyone looks
Mm.
at you like you're like, "Oh, you're the trendsetter." Like, no one has ever done such a thing. And I'm like, "No, I just have a lot of friends who do cool things and I can just move it together."
Right? Oh, I love that. Yeah, and I'm so excited for you that you get to experience that's your life. Do you know what
Yeah,
I
me
mean?
too. Yeah, it's really like I say, it's really cool when I say it out of my face. And of course, nothing feels on the inside as it sounds on the outside, but like I love that. I'm very happy with how my life turned out.
Wow, that's awesome. And so because you deal with so many different people from so many different parts of the world, how do you adapt the messaging for such diverse audiences?
So first thing I do is I always listen to how people talk about themselves and how they their message because I mean, there's only so much I can know. If I'm coming into a culture I don't know, there's no way I can really fit in immediately. So I listen to how they talk about themselves. I listen to how their friends or their competitors talk about themselves. And then I try to get to the real core of the message and then inflect it for whatever the audience is. And I find that it's important to do it in that order because otherwise you end up kind of like trying to contort yourself to fit your audience as opposed to
Mm.
figuring out what you actually have to say and then just sort of inflecting it.
Mm, right. Hmm. I'm trying to wrap my head around that part. So there are so many because there are so many different people and way they think and that sort of thing, you can't address everything for everybody. You
Right.
just got to know who you are, basically, is what I think I hear you saying. Know who you are
Yeah,
and know how to speak to those other places for those other people as it relates
exactly.
to who you are.
Exactly. And there's several things that are just so universal about humans. I mean, we all love stories. We all relate weirdly. If you tell someone a very specific thing that happened to you, even if it hasn't happened to them, they'll be like, "Oh, I know what that's exactly like," right? So like you don't know what it's like when I don't know, my cat jumps up on this desk and knocks my microphone over during a podcast interview. Fingers crossed, not today. But we can all relate to that feeling of like, "Oh no," you know?
Mhm.
So there's a lot of
Right.
universal human experience you can tap into.
Nice. Yeah, that is very, very true. Yeah, the response is very similar no matter what country you're in, no matter what
Yeah,
culture you're from. Yeah, if a cat jumps up and it's about to knock over the mic, yeah, most people will go,
yeah. Everyone's dealt with a cat.
right, exactly, at one point or another. So, Rachel, how do you help brands connect with top venture capitalists and scale influence?
So this was a new one on me a couple years ago. I had been doing a lot of business for a long time, and I found myself sort of accidentally niching for a while into more high context businesses, so law, finance, occasionally some medicine, stuff like that. And I ended up finding myself in the same circles as these sort of venture capitalists networking things over and over again, simply because my clients were there. And
Mm,
my clients would often ask me for messaging support because, of course, when you're in those circles and somebody asks you what you do, you really have it tight, So, because maybe they'll give you some money to do more of it. And so
mhm,
I ended up working on these really clear messages for all these people who were either in circles and hoping to either secure, Series B, C, D funding, or who
mhm,
had just wanted to sort of move into it and find their initial investor. And it was really fun. I really loved learning how to get the message so tight so that you could say it
mm,
in just one or two words and somebody else would get it and be like, absolutely, here's $1 million, you know?
mhm. Wow, love that. Wow, that is
Yeah, it was
quite a
fun.
skill. I need to
It's a
call
lot
you
about
up.
where you are as well, but
That's fantastic. I love
Yeah,
that. And being able to do that, holy camole, the work that you need to do to get to that is, I don't think people realize how much work it
yeah,
is. But when you do, oh my goodness, magic happens, truly.
absolutely. I mean, people
Wow.
look at it and they see it's just, 1, 2, 3, 4 words, and they're like, "Well, how long can that take?" And I'm like, "Sometimes years."
Right? Right? And how much work you want to put in.
Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. I love that. Do you have any other success stories of people who that you when you first met them were in one situation and because of their work with you have grown into something more than what they ever could have imagined?
Ooh, I love that. Let me think about some of my favorites. So one of my favorites was I had a lovely friend lives in Harlem and he makes beef tallow based skincare. And
Hmm.
when you say that, everyone's like, I don't know that I want to put like beef tallow on my face. But it's actually really great for you. Turns out it's got like loads of vitamin K and it's wonderful. And the way that he makes it, like it doesn't smell bad. It looks like just a face cream.
Hmm.
So I was able to work with him and rebrand the skincare as ancestrally informed skincare, which he actually
Hmm.
does like process it according to, ancestral things, and went from selling, kind of things to his neighbors here and there to selling product by the literal truckload.
Wow. Wow. Congratulations. That is
Yeah,
another hand
congratulations to
clap.
him.
I don't know.
Oh,
I love success stories. These are
oh, me
so good.
too.
So good. Now, I know I can't be the only one, Rachel. People want to know how to find you, how to stay in touch with you. Why don't you, as we're getting ready to close out, we want to know how we can stay in touch. So,
Yeah.
first, what core principle creates lasting marketing impact? I first want to know the answer to that question before you
Mhm.
tell us how to stay in touch.
Sure. So, my core marketing principle is that human is the only move left. And I've been doing this for a long time. I've seen a whole lot of stuff change on the internet. We go through what I call an internet apocalypse about every 5 years, and everyone's like, wrap it up. There's no more money on the internet. Go home. And I'm like, that's just no, no. All the things do fall away, all the tactics do become outdated. But if you focus on those human relationships and if you focus on showing up as human as you can and as true to yourself as you can on the internet, that will see you through all the ups and downs.
I love that. Human is the only move left. The internet is always going to be here. AI is
Yeah.
always going to be here, but human
Mhm.
is truly the only move left. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Let's definitely stay in touch. How can we find
Yeah.
you?
You can find me at boltfromthebluecopywriting.com. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can just email like it's the ancient times at rachel@boltfromthebluecopywriting.com.
Wow, I love it. And tell me about your business name, Bolt from the Blue Copywriting. Why that name?
So when I very first started my business, I had a terrible business name that no one understood because it was like really silly. It was this dumb pun based on marketing writing that like was really inside jokey with myself. Shockingly not great for marketing. So I was thinking one day about like what really amazing marketing feels like. And it really does hit you like a bolt of blue, and then everything changes and you're like, "Oh, I could never unsee this."
Mhm, mhm. Wow. And does the blue represent anything in particular? Bolt from the blue?
For me, it's just the openness of the sky and how anything could happen. So it really represents possibility. And then you have that moment, that lightning strike, where you get the inspiration or you have the connection between people, and then it's just everything changes.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I think it's very clever, very creative, and it's very impactful. So thank you so much for being on the show today. Rachel, you were made for something great. So go and be awesome.
Thank you so much.